What is up, and welcome to SGPN's The Daily Dog. I'm your host, Britton Hess. I'm here with my favorite Underdog Fantasy Pick'em plays for Monday, December 2nd, 2024. If you're new to Underdog Fantasy, sign up with promo code DailyDog. It's DAILYDOG at UnderdogFantasy.com or on the Underdog Fantasy app. Again, that's promo code DailyDog, DAILYDOG at UnderdogFantasy.com or on the Underdog Fantasy app. You will get a 50% deposit match bonus worth up to $1,000. That's the biggest one they offer. So I don't have the biggest show in the world, but I do have the biggest promo code available on Underdog. That 50% deposit match bonus obviously is very helpful when you're, putting in slips. You get extra money to play with, a couple more bites at the apple. You don't win every slip you put in, but you hope to make the ones that you do hit count. We got back to our winning ways over the weekend. Friday, we hit a college football slip that was 8.77x, so plus 777 in sports betting terms. And then on Sunday, we hit our 6.07x NFL slip. That was that's plus 507 in sports betting terms. So a lot of good things happening. We had a really good week 2 weeks ago. Last week was kind of terrible. I was kind of losing my mind at some of the slips we were finding a way to lose. But hey, it pays to get a 8x or basically a 9x and a 6x slip coming home over the weekend. That definitely put a nice stamp on the holidays. I hope everyone enjoyed their time with friends, family, or alone with their pets, with their family, whatever, kids, wife, whatever, what have you. But enough about that. Let's get to it. Let's talk about what we are playing today. Let's go to Monday Night Football in this matchup between the Broncos and the Browns. Honestly, I think that the Browns, they used up a lot of magic in that win over the Steelers. And they do get a nice rest advantage here against the Broncos. But, I don't know. I don't think the Broncos, I don't want to lay 6. I think the Broncos should win this game. I think they can definitely cover 6. I just don't want to lay it for whatever reason. I'd call it Jameis Winston magic, call it whatever you want. But I don't necessarily want to lay that price, even though I think that is the right side. That being said, there are quite a few plays that I like. And, if you look at just the plays, you might be like, oh, well, this guy definitely likes the Browns. That's not the case. I just think that this game state has potential for points and a lot more touchdowns than maybe people are expecting. So on that note, we're going to start out with Courtland Sutton, higher than 0.5 rushing plus receiving touchdowns. Bo Nix has advanced in his short career already. He has made it to the point where he realized that, hey, my life is much better if I target Courtland Sutton a ton, especially in the red zone. I mean, he's getting 7, 8, 9 plus targets per game lately. Obviously, early in the season, took Bo Nix a minute to realize, like, hey, I'm going to look much better if I target this guy more. So Courtland Sutton, higher than 0.5 rushing plus receiving touchdowns. I don't think that the Browns defense travels all that well. I think they're much better at home than they are on the road. Mile High Stadium, we're going to get basically no wind in this game up in Denver. But we are going to have 44 degrees, so it's not going to be, it's not going to be freezing. It's not going to be frozen tundra out there, but it's definitely not going to be warm. Obviously, guys in Cleveland are used to playing in cold weather. If you didn't see that snow game that they won, you should check out some clips because that was a wild experience. But that's neither here nor there. First pick, Courtland Sutton, higher than 0.5 rushing plus receiving touchdowns. On the other side, we're going to take Jeudy, higher than 57.5 rushing, or higher than 57.5 receiving yards. Jeudy, revenge game, the Jeudy revenge game. He was a former Bronco. He was drafted by the Broncos, and they traded him to the Browns. He's an all right player. He's not an elite player. He's not, like a wide receiver 1 or anything like that. But the state of the receiving corps for this Browns team means that it's basically Jeudy, and David Njoku, the tight end. And, outside of that, you're kind of stretching to try to find some guys that you can really rely on for this Browns team. I think that, the real path here is to get like a couple big plays, knock off, 40 yards on 2 catches, and then we can just play the volume game and hope he gets a couple more short yardage ones there to get across the line that we need here, 57.5 receiving yards. And just for a little context, Jeudy, he's not overwhelming anyone, that's for sure, but he is the wide receiver 1 as far as receiving yards goes for this Browns team. He's gone 57 plus in 4 consecutive games, I believe. So yeah, he's really peaking at the right time, and I think that the revenge angle will play here for Jeudy. Next, we're going to go to Jameis Winston, the guy throwing the ball to Jeudy, higher than 1.5 passing touchdowns. Again, I think that he's a gunslinger, and I think that he's going to be playing from behind. I think they're going to be throwing. There might be a garbage touchdown in there. And the running game with the Browns is not what we were expecting this year. Obviously, Nick Chubb got hurt. That changed things up quite a bit. And Nick Chubb and Jerome Ford, he's a fine player, but he's not, a dominant running back like what Nick Chubb is in his prime. So I just think that this is more of a passing team, especially with Jameis at the helm, because that's what he does best, is opening it up, going deep, taking shots, and winning with some risky plays. So I really like putting these three together for a 10.34x multiplier. Again, that's Courtland Sutton higher than half a rushing plus receiving touchdown, Jeudy higher than 57.5 receiving yards, and Jameis Winston higher than 1.5 passing touchdowns. 10.34x. Are you kidding me? That seems like the deal of the century, if you ask me. Let's get our 10x slip on Monday Night Football. I think all of these things have a high likelihood of happening. Get your revenge, Jeudy. Jameis, keep on throwing. And Courtland Sutton, do what you do. Beat guys on 50-50 balls in the end zone. All right, let's go to an NBA slip for this evening. I don't know why I keep doing this to myself, but I'm taking Trae Young higher than 2.5 3-pointers made again. Just when this is a flat multiplier, it just doesn't seem right. I know he's not shooting great. I know he's not having a great offensive year, but it just, the value is there. If they're going to keep hanging this number, I'm going to keep taking it. The shooting volume for Trae Young is always there. He's always shooting enough 3-pointers to get 3. He's shooting, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 3-pointers most games. So it's, a bit disheartening that he's not hitting this number, more often. That's why it is what it is right now. But if we just look at his last 2 games, or he's only gone over this one out of his last 4 games, I should say. And his shooting percentage is not great. That said, he is good for a gem here or there. And let's just hope that gem happens to be in this matchup. And let's also say that the Hawks are playing a little more confident. They got 3 wins in a row here, 2 of those versus the Cavs, which is kind of ridiculous. So we're starting this thing off with Trae Young higher than 2.5 3-pointers made. It's just a volume play. He can't shoot 20% for the rest of the season, right? And he's not shooting 20%. He's shooting like 30%, 33%, something like that. It is going to go up. It's going to go up to the high 30s eventually. And for him to get it up in the high 30s, that means he's going to have some good shooting games along the way this season. Let's get it right here, Trae Young. Next, we're going to go to LeBron James, higher than 1.5 3-pointers made. LeBron is like 0 for 15, 0 for 16 his last 3 games from the 3-point line. Actually, pretty insane how bad that clip has been. LeBron isn't going to stay that bad forever. He's going to keep shooting like nothing ever happened. It's going to be water under the bridge before it's all said and done. LeBron James, higher than 1.5 3-pointers made, is kind of a must play, I think, in this situation. That dude is just such a competitor. When he's gone over 3 from the 3-point line for 3 games in a row, he's going to keep shooting. He's going to fight his way through this downswing. So let's go LeBron James. Last one. My guy, Nikola Vucevic of the Bulls, hosting the Nets, higher than 19.5 points. He played the Nets once earlier this season. He won, or he didn't won. He had 28 points in that game. Vucevic is a guy whose floor is basically 19 points, and then he can go into the low 30s. Let's hope that he beats his floor. Doesn't have to beat it by much. He's just got to get to 20 points for us. So Nikola Vucevic higher than 19.5 points is what we're looking at there. That 3-leg NBA slip is 5.34x multiplier. Next, we're going to go to Nico Hischier. It's hard to say his name. I'm not a very good Swiss speaker. Nico Hischier of the Devils, higher than 0.5 goals against the Rangers. 1, he's a goal-scoring machine right now. 2, the Rangers, I don't know. I think the Rangers they're a little bit more flawed than people want to admit. They can let some goals get in. I think Nico Hischier is playing so well right now that he's got a good shot to make a statement here for his Devils at the Rangers in that short road trip to Madison Square Garden. Next, we're going to go to Mitch Marner, higher than half an assist against the Blackhawks. Maple Leafs are starting to score a little bit lately. I think that Marner obviously has a great chance of getting an assist versus this Blackhawks team who allow too many goals. Last one, my dude, Matt Duchene, higher than half a point versus Utah Hockey Club. Duchene is just a points machine for this team. I feel like every time he's on a slip for us, he comes through. So hopefully he doesn't let us down here. 5.96x multiplier. Again, that was Nico Hischier, higher than 0.5 goals for the Devils. Mitch Marner higher than 0.5 assists, and Matt Duchene higher than 5.96x. Let's keep the hot streak going here with these slips. Speaking of hot streaks, the college football regular season is officially done. So let's quickly recap what we did in our preseason college football slips, or our college football slip. We went 3 out of 4. The loser was Quinn Ewers, higher than 3,025.5 passing yards. He finished with 2,307. Obviously, it was an injury-plagued season. Obviously, Eli Manning, or not Eli Manning, the young Arch Manning ended up putting a little bit more pressure on him than was expected due to that injury. So it was not the overwhelming passing game or passing season Quinn Ewers was expected to have. But the team was just good anyway. Texas was, and again, the injury, missing 2 games and not being 100% in many other games really killed us on that one. The good news is, though, in the other 3 picks I gave out in the preseason, we crushed those. So, hopefully you were able to get some straights in on these picks, and also hopefully you were able to play a flex on this slip, because Oronde Gadsden higher than 550.5 yards. He ended the season with 860. He rocked that number. Brant Kuthi higher than 500.5 receiving yards. He got 505, but he got injured several weeks ago. He missed time earlier in the year. So him getting over that, but despite being really injured for a lot of this season and then not even be able to finish the season out, I'll take that as a win. That was part of the handicap. That number was just so low. I was like, dude, we just need like 8 games from this guy. He's going to get there. And that is exactly what happened. The last one, this one was borderline illegal. They had RJ Harvey higher than 900.5 rushing yards for UCF. Again, RJ Harvey, a dude who has crushed his 1,000-yard rusher in the past. I don't know why they hung him at 900.5 rushing yards on Underdog, but they did. He finished the season with 1,577. So we did well with those, but enough about the past. Let's win some more slips today. Good luck on your picks, and let's make some money.